was 15, I thought it'd be cool and messed around with witchcraft. 'Cause, you know, all my friends were doing it. And ended up with some pretty dark stuff involving desecration of a religious item. At first I thought it was just hadn't worked, went about my life. Little did I know, I set off a chain of events that led to the worst year of my life. At first, things started small. Started seeing shadow people and I had trouble sleeping. Over a few months, it got worse. I was barely sleeping, seeing shadow people every night, getting my blankets pulled off, hear people talking in my room, having my legs pulled as I slept. It was bad. Think paranormal activity type bad. I tried to handle it on my own at first. I could only sleep if I had music blaring and a t-shirt covering my eyes, because the activity was so bad. The presence in my room got so bad that no one in my family would go in my room anymore. The room felt like a black hole of oppression. Started getting more violent and aggressive with people around me until my parents took me to our pastor. He told me that I was possessed and would need to do some stuff to get rid of the attachment. It wasn't all exorcist and shit, but it was intense and grueling. When I first started trying to get rid of the presence, the activity intensified so much, the whole house was affected. My brother started having nightmares. One of them started sleepwalking, and I was still having the worst of it. One night towards the end, I was woken up by my whole bed shaking violently. At this point, I was so tired I didn't even want to fight anymore. I just laid in the bed as it shook and waited for it to be over. I was then grabbed by both feet and literally dragged out of my bed. When I got up off the floor and tried to get back into bed, I was shoved back down and heard the most terrifying growling. I just laid on the floor for what must have been hours, eventually going into the living room to sleep on the couch. After the activity slowed down greatly, it would just be something every once in a while. Cut a few years down the road, I was 23, had been living on my own for a while, and had to move back to my parents' house. It was empty at the time, as my parents had moved. They let me stay there, rent-free, with my roommate, as they still owned it. My roommate took my old room, and I took the master's bedroom. 2 days after we moved in, my roommate begged me to sleep in the living room with her, because the level of activity in that room scared her, and she didn't want to sleep alone anymore. It was more of the same stuff: shadow people, odd noises, shaking beds, getting pulled on, etc. The last straw for both of us was when we were both sitting in the living room and heard the radio in the bedroom at the end of the hallway turn on. No one slept in this room. It just had some of my brother's stuff in it as storage. But the radio turned on by itself. We walked down the hall together and turned it off before going back to the living room. A few minutes later, it comes back on. Same thing, we go down the hallway to turn it off, but this time I unplug it. We head back to the living room and try to settle in for the night, and the radio comes on again. This time we didn't get up, because I unplugged the frickin' thing. There was no way it's on. I hollered down the hallway asking whatever was messing with us to turn the radio off. Instant silence. We checked in the morning, the radio was still unplugged. After that we decided it was time to move, so we left. The place is still haunted to this day, and has a very dark feeling about it as soon as you come in the door.